going to get started in a tabletop position. Now, if you have tender knees, one of my favorite ways to help ease any knee discomfort is, of course, to place a blanket or a cushion underneath the knees. So I have one blanket, use as many as you possibly would like, and find your way to your tabletop position. If you want, if it's more comfortable, tuck the toes under or have the toes untucked. Take an inhale, drop the belly down, lift the heart, lift the hips. Exhale, scoop your belly round your spine. Do that about 3 more times following your breath. Finding your way back to center, take the knees wide. Big toes touch, heels fall apart. We're coming back into child's pose. Now, as you drop back to child's pose, if you find that there's pressure behind the knees, you can also take your blanket or an additional blanket, tuck it behind the knees, adding just a bit more space. So there's not as much flexion happening in the knees, but you're still getting this nice hip opening and this awesome stretch for the spine and the chest. Take a few deep breaths. And then slowly press yourself back up. I'm going to move the blanket in front again, letting it be a cushion for the knees. Step your right foot forward, finding a lunge. Lift your torso so your shoulders are stacked right above your hips. Think about tugging your right hip back as your left hip presses forward. Now start to press the hips forward, belly is drawing in, and as your right hip is coming back, press through the thigh. So often if we have knee stuff going on, sometimes that results in tightness in the quads. So opening up the thigh muscles can really be helpful sometimes. Feel free to let your hands rest on your thigh. Slide your right hand to your hip, take the left arm up, side bend to the right. And then come back up, lower it down. Step the right knee back beside the left and switch. Hugging the left hip back as the right hip and thigh press forward. Belly is in. Slide your left hand to your hip, right arm reaches up, slide side bend to the left. Come back up and release. Tuck your right toes under, lift the right knee, step your right foot up to meet your left. Come into a wider forward fold. So feet are a little wider than the hips, deep bend in the knees. Let your head and neck release forward. Maybe sway from side to side. Now as you come back to center, heel to the feet just a little closer together. Lift up halfway, slide your hands up to your shins, your thighs, and then to the hips. Press through the feet, come all the way up to stand. Now as we come into chair pose, the health of your knees will determine how deep or how shallow your chair pose is. Find what feels good in your body and listen to that. Feet are hip width apart. Start to hinge at your hips, sit your hips back as though you're sitting in a chair. Now if you're right here and your knees are talking to you, maybe this is where you stay. Maybe you stand up a little bit further. If it's available though, drop the hips down. Belly is drawing in, heart is lifting. Now, this pose can help us build strength in the thighs as well as in the muscles surrounding and supporting the knees. Take one more breath here. Press down through your feet. Come all the way up to stand. We'll do that 2 more times. Hinge back, finding your variation of chair pose. Maybe playing with it, see if you can drop down a little further. Press down through your feet, push the ground away as you come up. Do that one more time, hinge back. Press down, come all the way up. Now turning to face the long edge of your mat, step to warrior two. So feet are about the distance of one of your legs if it were between your feet. Turn the right foot out to begin, bend into the knee. Now think about pressing your knee toward the pinky side of your foot. This is going to help us avoid collapsing the foot. And another way to think about it is just having your knee in line with your toes. So if that means turning where your foot is facing, just let the knee come with it. That's also going to help us strengthen the outer muscles of the hips. Sink into the hips, press down through the outer edge of the opposite foot. Take the arms out. Press down through both feet, keep the arms out, straighten the leg. Sink into warrior two, check in with your alignment. Press up. One more time, bend. Press up, come to warrior two and hold one more time. Flip the right palm up, reach it back, reverse warrior. Keep that bend in the knee. Come up to warrior two. Let your forearm rest lightly against your thigh. Take the left arm up or over the ear. You can always bring your hand to your hip. Check down with the knee. Take the left arm up, come back up to warrior two, straighten the right leg. Let's just rotate the feet around. So right foot comes in, left foot is going to turn out. Bend into your left knee. Find your alignment first. So knee in line with the toes, pressing it to the pinky edge if that's available. Press down through the outer edge of your right foot. Open the arms. Sink a little bit into the hips. Push down. Extend through the leg. Again, bend and extend. Last time. Continuing to build strength and mobility in the knee. Hold it here. Flip the left palm up. Sweep it back. Release to warrior two. Forearm rests lightly against the thigh. Take it up. Come back up to warrior two, straighten the left leg, lower the arms down. You can turn the feet in. Step the feet a little bit closer together and then bring your heels in, toes are out. Take your hands to your hips. Sink the hips down, coming into goddess pose or horse stance. Again, very common here for the knees to want to collapse inward. Keep them either pressing back or at the very least in line with the toes. Sink as deep or come up a little bit higher as you would like. Find what works for you today, knowing that it might change tomorrow. Hold here, maybe drop a little bit lower. See what it's like if you shift your hips from one side to the other, transferring your weight. Let's hold here for 5, breathing for 4, 3, 2, 1. Press down, lift up, rotate the feet so that they're parallel. Soft bend in the knees, hinge forward, and then take it all the way down into your wide forward fold. Hands can go wherever is most comfortable. Release through the legs, release through the upper body. Take one more breath wherever you are. Inhale, lift up halfway. Start to heel toe the feet a little closer together and then bring your hands to your hips. Come all the way up to stand. Now shifting your weight over to your left leg, slide your right foot over to your ankle, setting up for tree pose. Keep a slight bend in your standing leg. This is going to help build strength around the knee and also protect the joint from locking out. Press down through the foot. You can bring your foot up to your calf. You can bring your foot up to your knee, or maybe you come up to the inner thigh. So as this left leg is working, the right leg is also working as the hip is opening. Find a spot to focus on, draw in the belly. You can take your hands to your heart, maybe reach the arms up, make it your own tree. And if you fall, just come right back into it. Pro tip though, finding a spot to focus on is really going to help you balance, because if your gaze is wandering, you're that much more likely to topple over. Let's take one more breath here. And then gently release, shake it out, switch to the other side. Standing on your right leg, find that slight bend. Foot can stay at the ankle, slide it up, maybe pick it up a little bit higher. Maybe you go as high as the inner thigh. Find your focal point. Take one more breath here. Gently release, shake it out. Shift your weight back to your left leg, bend into the knee. Pick your right leg up, see if you can catch your knee with your right hand, or you can hold on underneath the leg. We want to keep the top of the leg completely still, and we're focusing on what's happening below the knee. So, start to circle the shin and the ankle around. The top of the hip and the thigh might move a little bit, that's okay, but just again, keep your focus below. And then go the other way. Come back to center, gently release and switch. Catch the left knee, find your balance, and then add some movement through the lower leg. Finding your way back to stillness, release it down and shake the legs out. Turn and face the short edge of your mat, stepping to the top. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold, soft knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Step back to your hands and knees. We're just transitioning down to our hips. Swing the legs out in front and lower onto your back. Hug your right knee into your chest. Hold on behind the leg. On an inhale, press the foot up. Exhale, bend the knee as much as you can comfortably. Again, press it up and bend for 3, 2, and 1. Good, lower your right foot down, hug your left knee in. Hold on behind the leg, inhale, press it up. Exhale, lower for 2, 3, 4, 1 more. Release, lower down. Both feet are down now, feet are parallel. Ankles are right below your knees. Bring your arms down by your sides. Press your lower back down. Start to peel the hips up, finding a bridge. Press your feet down. Think about hugging your heels back as your knees reach forward. Lift up just a little bit higher, keeping space between your chest and your chin. Exhale, lower down 1 vertebrae at a time. We'll do that 2 more times. Roll the hips up, knees reach forward, inner thighs are magnetically hugging together, keeping them parallel though. Exhale, lower down. 1 more time, roll it up. Exhale all the way down. Good, hug your right knee into your chest once again. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Be very mindful of the knees here. Maybe this is where you stay. Maybe you're getting a stretch for the hip already. If there's more available, gently press the knee open. Flex through your right foot to help protect the ligaments around the knee. And of course, if you need more here, you can lift the left leg up, holding on behind the left hamstrings. Gently release, uncross the legs and switch. Hug your left knee in, cross left ankle over right thigh. Keep in mind one side may be totally different than the other. Maybe stay here, maybe gently open the knee, flexing through the left foot. Option to lift the right leg up and breathe. Gently release, uncross the legs. For our final pose, we're going to take the blanket, roll it up again, coming into a brief Shavasana with the blanket. Slide it underneath your knees so the knees are a little bit bent, a little bit elevated. Lower down, let the rest of your body relax. Close the eyes. Let's just take about 5 deep breaths. You can stay here for as long as you would like. When you're ready, take a full body stretch. Carefully roll over to one side or just rock yourself up to a comfortable seat. Sitting tall through your spine, let's take in one final breath together. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale all the way out. And that is all for today. Great job. We'll see you next time.